Today, I'm reviewing the PMS Elixir from Marea Wellness. Full disclosure, Marea sent me a complimentary bag in sample packets to try, but they are not sponsoring this video. They did not review this content before publication, and all opinions are my own. Marea Wellness is a women's health company focused on supporting women through different phases of the menstrual cycle. In addition to supplements, they offer functional testing and educational resources designed to help women better understand and navigate their hormonal health. By the end of this review, I'm going to answer 3 questions. Does it taste good? Are the ingredients dosed appropriately? And based on the evidence, would I personally recommend it? Let's start with my first impressions. Taste. I tried both the tropical and citrus lemonade flavors. Both were enjoyable and easy to drink, but if I had to choose, I prefer the tropical flavor. The taste reminded me a bit of an electrolyte drink. It has flavor, but it isn't overwhelmingly sweet. A lot of wellness products can lean heavily on sweetness, and this one didn't. Overall, I would give the PMS Elixir an 8 out of 10 for taste. Mixability also gets an 8 out of 10. No special equipment is needed, just a glass, 8 ounces of water, and a spoon. There was no clumping, and it mixed easily. I also like that Marea recommends starting with a 1/4 scoop and gradually increasing the serving size. That gives users an opportunity to see how they respond before jumping into a full serving. Cost is probably the hardest category to evaluate because everyone's budget and priorities are different. Depending on the package and subscription options, you're generally looking at somewhere around $55 to $65 per month. At first glance, that may feel expensive. However, this formula contains multiple ingredients, and purchasing them individually would likely cost more each month. That doesn't automatically make it good value, but it's worth considering when evaluating the price. So, taking all of that into consideration, I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10 for cost. Let's take a look at whether the ingredients and dosages align with the claims being made. There are 15 nutrients in this formula, and covering every single one would make this video much longer than it needs to be. Instead, I'm going to focus on the nutrients that are most relevant to Marea's PMS claims and the ingredients that have some of the strongest evidence behind them. Let's start with magnesium, because if I wanted to build a PMS supplement from scratch, magnesium would almost certainly make the top of the list. Magnesium has been studied for PMS symptoms, including cramping, headaches, mood changes, and overall symptom burden. Many studies have used dosages in the range of 200 to 400 milligrams per day. Marea provides 355 milligrams of magnesium in the form of magnesium glycinate, which is about 85% of the daily value. This form of magnesium is generally well absorbed and easier on the digestive system than other forms. This was the first ingredient that made me think, okay, they're actually serious about the formulation. Now let's check out calcium. What many people don't realize is that calcium has some of the strongest research behind it for PMS symptoms. Several studies have shown improvements in mood changes, fatigue, cravings, bloating, and pain. Those studies used around 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day. Marea provides 510 milligrams, which is roughly half of the amount typically used, and that is reasonable given that it's part of a broader formula. Vitamin B6 is another ingredient with a fairly strong PMS research history. It's thought to support neurotransmitter production, which may be one reason it has been studied for symptoms such as mood changes, irritability, and fatigue. Research often used doses from 25 to 100 milligrams daily, so Marea's 25 milligrams of B6 in the active P5P form is about 1,471% of the daily value. Sounds a bit dramatic, but it's well below the current established upper intake limit of 100 milligrams per day for adults. Next is vitamin E. Not a cornerstone ingredient, but there's some research suggesting it may help with breast tenderness and certain PMS symptoms. The evidence isn't as strong as magnesium or calcium, but the rationale for including it is sound. Zinc. While zinc isn't the first thing people think of for PMS, it plays a role in immune function, inflammatory signaling, and reproductive health. And there's emerging evidence it may support menstrual health. So at 15 milligrams, or 136% of the daily value, it's a worthwhile addition. Vitamin D. Marea also includes 1,000 IU or 25 micrograms of vitamin D, which provides 125% of the daily value. Though vitamin D isn't considered a primary PMS ingredient, some research suggests that correcting a deficiency may improve menstrual symptoms, making it a reasonable addition to the formula. Overall ingredient assessment. Stepping back, what I appreciate the most is that Marea built their formula around vitamins and minerals that have been studied for PMS symptoms, rather than ingredients that are simply popular in the wellness space. The doses of magnesium, calcium, and B6 are substantial and generally consistent with what has been studied for PMS symptoms. But does that mean every woman will experience fewer cramps? No. Unfortunately, nutrition is rarely that simple, but from an ingredient and dosing perspective, I was genuinely impressed. 9 out of 10. Testing and transparency. Beyond ingredients, testing and transparency matter because a good formula is only as good as what's actually in the container. Marea states that their products undergo third-party testing and are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility. They also disclose exact ingredient amounts rather than hiding behind a proprietary blend, which I always like to see. Though transparency and testing don't guarantee results, it does make it easier to evaluate whether the ingredients and dosages align with their claims. So for that, I give it a 9 out of 10. Personal experience. I think it's important to separate my personal experience from what the research says. I probably wasn't the ideal candidate to test this. My symptoms are generally mild, and the discomfort I was most interested in tracking was ovulation pain, which isn't what this product is specifically designed for. That said, I did notice less ovulation discomfort than usual, which was really encouraging. Of course, that's a sample size of 1 over 2 cycles, so take it for what it's worth. What impressed me most was seeing magnesium, calcium, and B6 included at doses that actually align with the research. Overall, this scores an 8.5 out of 10. The taste and mixability were solid, and the formulation appears to be thoughtfully designed around nutrients that have been studied for PMS symptoms. If you're looking for a nutrient-focused supplement with transparent dosing, Marea has put together something worth considering. As always, supplements are just one piece of the puzzle. Sleep, nutrition, stress management, and exercise all matter too. So, have you tried it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.